Very good morning, everyone. Today we are going to discuss some very important topics from our syllabus. So, first topic we have state and markets, and after that we have changing government, business relationship, liberalization and globalization, changes in company laws. Apart from that, we have antitrust laws as well as foreign investment laws and labor laws. So, all these topics are connected to how our Indian economy works, how the government and business depend on each other, how our system has changed over time, and how various laws protect fairness and growth in business. So, let's begin with why we need to study these topics. So, basically, we study these topics like state and markets, changing government, business relationship, liberalization, globalization, and different business laws because they help us to understand how our economy works. Okay, so basically, state means the government, and the market means business and industries. By studying, we learn how the government and business work together to make our country grow. We also understand how the government make rules for fair trade as well as protect workers, attract foreign investment, and help small and big companies to grow. So basically, these topics teach us how government policies affect business. Apart from that, how new economic reform changed India after 1991 and how laws protect people, company and workers. So we study them to become responsible citizen and future professional who understand how India business and economy develop. Okay. So we already mentioned these two things like what is state and what is market. Okay, so earlier, so let's start with this thing. Now, the relationship between the two shows how much control or freedom businesses have. The relationship between the state and market, it shows, it identifies, it defines how much control and freedom businesses have. Earlier, India followed a mixed economy and where both the state and private sector were active. The government managed key industries like steel, railways, telecom, while private in businesses operated in other areas. Okay, but after 1991, the government gave more freedom to the market. For example, earlier only government telecom companies only existed, but we have private companies like Jio, Airtel, Vodafone, which have made telecom services faster and cheaper. So we can say that the role of state changed from controller to facilitator. Okay, so next we have changing government business relationship. So earlier the government controlled almost every business decision. You needed licenses for everything and this was known as license Raj. So basically after 1991 things changed. Now the government support businesses instead of controlling them. It focus on making the environment friendly for investment through policies like Make in India, Digital India, and Startup India. For example, earlier setting up a factory required dozen of clearness. Now it can be done much faster through online single window system. So today the relationship between business and government is more like partnership rather than control. Okay. So, third topic we have liberalization. Now let's understand this thing. What is liberalization? Liberalization means removing unnecessary control and restrictions on business and industry. It gives the businesses the freedom to make their own decisions. In India, the process began in 1991 under the new economic policy. And if we talk about main features included, first we have ending the license system, okay, which we call it license raj. And after that, it reduces the import duties. In addition to that, it allowing private and foreign investment, as well as modernizing the financial sector. For example, before liberalization, only Maruti and Ambassador cars were available in India. But after liberalization, companies like Hyundai, Honda, and Suzuki entered the market and giving customer more choice and better quality. Okay, so next we have globalization. So basically, globalization means connecting the Indian economy with the world economy through trade, through investment, through technology, through information. It allows the companies to operate internationally and gives consumer access to global product. For example, you can buy an iPhone from the USA and wear Zara clothes from Spain, or order on Amazon, like a global platform. This is a global platform, Amazon, all because of the globalization. At the same time, Indian companies like Infosys, TCS, and Tata Motors are working in global market. Globalization increases the competition but also brings the opportunities for growth. Okay, so next topic we have changing in company law. So now let's discuss company law. In company laws are the rules that govern how companies are formed, managed, and dissolved. Earlier we followed the Companies Act 1956, but it was replaced by the Companies Act 2013 to bring more transparency and accountability. Some major changes were: first, we have corporate social responsibility become compulsory. In addition to that, independent director were introduced to monitor management. And after that, we have stronger penalties were added for fraud and corruption. For example, companies like Infosys, Tata regularly publish CSR report and contribute to education, environment, and social cause as part of their legal duties. So next we have antitrust laws. Now let's talk about antitrust law, also called competition law. These laws ensure that no company create a monopoly or unfairly dominate the market. In India, the Competition Act 2002 replaced the MRTP Act. The Competition Commission of India, like CCI, keeps watch on unfair trade practices. For example, if two major mobile companies secretly agree to fix prices, the CCI can punish them for reducing fair competition. Such laws protect consumer and ensure that marketer remain healthy and fair. Next we have foreign investment laws. So next, in foreign investment laws, these laws define how much foreign investors or companies can invest in India. India allows FDI, that means foreign direct investment, in most of the sectors with a certain limit. The goal is to attract foreign capital, technology, and expertise. For example, if Walmart invested in Flipkart and Apple has started manufacturing iPhone in India, this not only bring money into the country but also create job and innovation. Next, we have labor laws. So, finally, let's understand the labor laws. Basically, labor laws protect the right and welfare of workers. They cover wages, working hours, safety, and social security. India has recently simplified more than 40 old labor laws into four labor codes. First code we have code on wages. Ensure, that means ensure pay, fair pay. Second, we have code on industrial relations. So basically, which means manages the relations between workers and employees. Third, we have code on social security, which means provide benefits like pension and insurance. And fourth, we have code on occupational safety, which means ensure safety, safe working conditions. For example, under the Minimum Wages Act, every worker must receive at least the minimum salary fixed by the government. Okay, so come to the summary part. So basically, in this class, we already understand these topics. Like first topic, we have state and market. So let's understand the summary of all the topics that we covered in today's class. So first topic we have state and market. It explains how the government, that means state, and business, that means market, work together in the economy. The state makes policies and ensures welfare while the market produces goods and creates jobs. So let's understand this question why we need to study this topic. So basically, to understand how both depend on each other and how together they help the country grow. Okay, so next we have changing government business relationship, which means earlier the government controlled business through the license Raj, but now it support them with friendly policies like Make in India and Startup India. So let's understand why we need to study this question or this topic. So which means to see how the government role changed from the controller to promoter, increases business freedom. So third topic we already discussed in today's class, that is liberalization and globalization. Liberalization removes the unnecessary control and globalization connect India with the world economy. Both began with 1991 reforms. So let's understand this thing why we need to study these two topics like liberalization and globalization. So basically, to understand how these reform opened up trade and increased foreign investment and boosted India's growth. Okay, so next we have second table which include these topics, changes in company law, antitrust law, and after that we have foreign investment law. Changing in company law, which means the Company Act 2013 made company management more transparent, responsible, and socially welfare or aware. If we understand this thing, why we need to study this topic, which means to know how companies are formed, managed, made accountable to society and shareholder. Okay, so next topic we have antitrust, which means the competition law. So basically, the Competition Act 2002 prevent unfair trade, monopolies, and cheating of consumers. So let's understand this thing why we need to study this topic. So basically, to ensure fair competition and protect both small businesses as well as customer. Next, we have foreign direct investment, which means laws like FEMA 1999 regulate how the foreign companies invest in India and bring money, jobs, and new technology. So let's understand this thing, why we need to study this topic. So basically, to learn how foreign investment help in economic growth and makes India globally competitive. Next topic we have labor laws and overall economic connection. So basically, labor laws protect worker right and ensure fair wages, safety, and social security through four labor codes. And let's understand this thing, why we need to study this topic. So basically, to understand how these laws maintain peace between employer and worker and ensure justice at workplaces. And last topic we have overall economic connection, which means the all these topics together show how the government, business, and society are linked through policies and laws. For example, to realize that blamed cooperation between all helps build a fair, strong, and progressive nations. So now come to the conclusion part. So all these topics like state and market liberalization, globalization, and related laws are deeply connected. These show how India's business environment has moved from control to competition, from protection to participation, and from national to global. Understanding these help us to understand to how basically manager, entrepreneur, policymaker become responsible and who can make decisions that are both profitable and socially responsible. So now let's come to the final conclusion. Everyone, all these topics show how India economy has changed over time. Earlier the government controlled most of the economy, but now the government and private sector work together. So, reform like liberalization and globalization opened our country to the world. Now, foreign companies invest in India, new industries grow, and people get more job opportunities. At the same time, new laws like company law, competition law, labor law, foreign investment rules make sure everything happens fairly and honestly. So, in simple words, these topic teaches how the government, businesses, and society work together for for the country's progress or a country growth. They help us to understand that development is not just about money. It is about fairness, opportunity, and growth for everyone. So that is all about for the today's class. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care. Keep learning. Keep growing.